2023 has been a unique year for weather in Santa Barbara. In just the first 2 months, we've seen rainfall, floods, giant swells, and a snowstorm. We headed over to KYT to find out a little bit more about the weather this year and what we can expect for the future from their weather reporter, Sean Kean.
I like to think that our bread and butter months are December, January, February, and March, and it looks like now we've got at least 3 of those 4 months really producing a lot of good weather. It looks like this year we're starting to shift back to what is called neutral, and we're not an El Nino or La Nina, and during those times you can have good amounts of wet storms, and that's appearing to be what we're getting right now. We might even be shifting all the way to an El Nino next year, but this year so far we've had a lot of good rain systems. There are some hints that the long term looks good for March. There are also some hints, and this is long-term forecasting, which is sometimes you need a crystal ball. There are also some hints that it might be a little drier than normal. So we watch this constantly. So I would say right now, with the patterns going, it looks like we should see some more good storms.
With the weather this year being so drastically different from previous years, and with climate change becoming more of a factor in our everyday lives, it can raise the question,
is climate change fueling these things? Now, whether or not it's responding to this year's weather, I think it's not easy for me to just go every time the wind blows up, climate change. It's just, I think that's too chicken little. The sky's falling. But to deny the fact that we're adding more energy that it's going to react, it appears that is happening. The droughts are getting more intense, the heat waves are getting bigger, and when we get the wets, as they call them, or the storms, they're getting more intense. And that would seem to fit perfectly with the attitude of adding more energy, you get more out.
Whether this weather will continue throughout the rest of the year is something we'll just have to wait and see. For DP News, I'm Aston Smith.